Welcome to the football show on PLZ Soccer. I'm Peter Martin. It's Friday. We're going to be looking ahead to the weekend's football in the Premiership in Scotland. Alan Ruff and Barry Ferguson are with me to get their teeth into some of the subjects we'll be talking about. Yeah, lots of things to talk about with regards to domestic football. We've had that international break. We've got great news from the two games. We're top of the group. Everything's rosy in the garden. Now we get back to what I would suggest, Ruffy, is the lunacy of the Premiership. And there's never a dull moment in it.
No, but it's been good. I think everybody's chipping in this year. I think the top of the league's very, very competitive. We saw teams like Livingston taking on the big boys and getting points off of them. So there's no given at this precise moment in time, you know, who's going to win what game. Yeah,
well, Barry, I'm going to ask you to look at the fixtures and tell me what's the standout game of the weekend. Hamilton, Celtic, Hibs, Dundee, Motherwell, Aberdeen, Rangers, Livingston, St Johnstone, Kilmarnock, or St Mirren, Hearts.
I've got to be honest here, I think it's St Johnstone Kilmarnock games. Two form teams. St Johnstone are on a great run, and so are Kilmarnock. So that's probably the game that I'll be looking at closely.
Yeah, okay, I'll get your predictions on that very shortly. We had a look at the headlines there, Ruffy. First of all, Steven Gerrard has been speaking today. If the right player comes along, we've heard that before from many a manager right across the Premiership. If the right player comes along, they'll make the move, but he doesn't envisage them spending any money in the January transfer window. Will that be viewed as a blow to Rangers fans and the ambition of possibly challenging Celtic, or do you think you'll look and say he's got enough to make it a close run thing?
Well, I'm sure the supporters will be hoping he's just sort of laying it as it is, you know, because I'm sure Steven Gerrard would want at least 3 players in there, you know, and he doesn't seem to be singing for the same hymn sheet as Alan, because he's saying to everybody, if the board want to give his money, we'll take money for players. So I don't know, the two of them are going in the wrong direction for me. You know, I'm sure Steven Gerrard would want players in.
Yeah, listen, any manager who doesn't want to sign a new player, you've just signed one in the last 24 hours. Oh, you get 2 in now. I saw the picture and I thought to myself, well, there you are. Every manager I know says we haven't got a big enough squad.
Yeah, I'm surprised at the comments, because I think Rangers, if I'm being honest, are 3, even 4 players short. Look, he'll know himself. He'll want to sign players. It's whether he's got the budget to go and do that. I don't know. That's obviously a private conversation between the manager and the board. But I'm surprised that if the right player becomes available, I'm sure Steven Gerrard will want to sign him, because, as I said, I think they are a few players short. He really competing at the top of the league.
Yeah. Now, you've already said on record that you don't think Rangers will win the league this season. So effectively then they're in a battle for second. Do you think if they don't sign someone that could jeopardise them even finishing second?
No, I still think there's... What I did say is Celtic are clear favourites for me. Yeah. I still think Celtic have got the strongest squad and team. But Rangers are edging closer. I do think come January, the additions, should I say, of 3 or 4 players would kick them on again, because I do think they are short a wee bit of quality in midfield, and up top they're still a bit short for me. But if I'm being honest, I think they will easily finish in second place, but I still think it will be a tight title race this year.
Yeah. How easily is second ahead of the others? 4 or 5 points more?
Yeah, I think they will finish in second place pretty convincingly. I still think it will be nip and tuck between them and Celtic, but at this moment in time, Celtic for me are clear favourites.
Right, okay. Ruffy, Steven Gerrard also talking about, you know, the ticket allocation for the forthcoming derby on the 29th of December. Now, he doesn't want to see Celtic not have fans at it, because that's what makes the joy of derby matches. It's not a case of nobody wants to see Celtic not have fans there. I think it's the quantity that's the problem. And if I can quantify this whole nonsense was started by Hibs picked up on by Rangers, elevated to a situation where I feel as if they're pandering to, you know, a minority. Whether it was done out of a need for extra cash, I do not know, and season tickets. But for me, it's potentially now ruining one of the greatest fixtures on the calendar.
Yeah, I'm talking about it from a neutral point of view. When I was at these games, before the games, leading up to the game, and Barry will know more than me because he's been on the park at these games. But for me, it was all about the banter between the two sides. Just everything that was going on, the songs, you know, the wind-ups and everything.
Yeah.
And it added so much to the game. This is before the game actually started.
Yeah, you're painting, and just I hate to interrupt you on that point because it's such a good point you make. Let me interject and just say, you know, we want to see large amounts of fans there at the game because of the competitive nature, the rivalry, all of that. The picture you painted there was a little bit rosy because most of that banter was all hatred, sectarianism, and, you know, and things that you don't want to see. But what we want to see is we want to see a decent amount of fans there, because there was nothing better. I don't know how you felt about this, Barry. Right. There was nothing better than seeing a Barry Ferguson score a goal when you only have 7,000 Rangers fans there, and the noise is incredible. And the 3/4 of the ground at Celtic Park, they have the emotion of gutted, Rangers have scored, and you've got your fans going mental. Now that's gone. 800 in a corner, and the rest of the whole thing is all Rangers fans. Gone.
I can only go on past experience when I've played in the games. And when I've come out, you turn it to the left and it's a sea, green and white. And then 3/4 of the stadium is Rangers. And as I say, it's a special atmosphere. When both sets of supporters are in, whether it's, I think it's 7,500, 8,000 Celtic fans, but putting that down to 800, for me, it's not going to make much of a difference. I think, as you mentioned earlier, it's a special game, a special occasion, and when you've got both sets of supporters in there screaming for their team, that's what makes it the best game in the world for me.
Yep, okay. Now, in contrast to that, Brendan Rodgers, speaking ahead of their game, the early kick-off between Hamilton and Celtic, says that in the January transfer window, he'll obviously be looking for players.
Well, just assessing targets and the areas that we need to strengthen and improve. So that's an ongoing matter, and I'm sure there'll be enough talk in January about that. So, but in the meantime, it's just the focus is really on the players that's here, and the guys behind the scenes are working really hard and preparing, hopefully, for some players to come in.
Yeah, so they said it at the AGM, and he's reiterating it. He wants to strengthen.
Yep, I think you could guarantee there'll be players coming in there in light of what happened in the summer when he never got a couple of players that he wanted. I'm sure he'll be given the money and the assurances that anybody he identifies will be coming in. So from a Celtic point of view, I think that's a good thing. I also think there'll be a load of players leaving as well. There's far too many players there just now not contributing at all to the first 11. So I think there will be 2 or 3 coming in. And I think the way Brendan Rodgers was going on the first time, I think there'll be quality. They'll not just be there to fill the numbers.
Yeah. He has held his hands up and said Marvin Comper was a mistake. Not so much a mistake on maybe the boys' playing ability, but he holds his hands up because quite simply he picked up an injury early on and then really didn't get the fitness that he thought was required to slot into the team. Yeah,
there was a lot spoke about him when Celtic first signed him. Obviously played at big clubs, but listen, he has been a disappointment. I think he's only played 1 game. But what I did read is he's been good about the dressing room, his experience helping the younger players, but it was a lot of money wasted on a player where it could have been used elsewhere, I think. So it's been disappointing for the player and disappointing in Celtic's part.
Yep, okay. Hamilton, it's not been a great run for the Ackies. I don't even think there's any advantage on the artificial surface for them whatsoever, Ruffy. I don't think it matters in this one.
No, I think the first 10-15 minutes it matters whether, you know, the players can get their head round playing in the surface. That seems to be the biggest ordeal of the whole thing, you know, feeling comfortable on the surface. But you have to just look at Hamilton Accies' defence, you know, they're just losing goals for fun. And if you're coming up a team like Celtic, who have got so many players in the team who can score goals, and chipping Forrest into the equation, you smell that there only can be one winner in this game.
Yep, okay. From Hamilton Celtic to stories concerning the Hibs boss, Neil Lennon. He said he's flattered to be linked with the Republic of Ireland job, but happy at Hibs. In the end, if you read between the lines, I think Mick McCarthy looks as if he's the out-and-out front-runner, despite the fact that Sam Allardyce has been quoted in there as well.
Yeah, when I seen Lenny mentioned, I mentioned on the show on Wednesday, I think he's a day-to-day kind of manager. He likes being out in the training field with the players, day in, day out. And you're an international manager, you only get them 6 times a year, the maximum of 10 days. So I was never in any doubt that Lenny would stay at Hibs.
Yep. Ruffy, when I look at Hibs, they haven't been in great form of late. That's the one thing he'll want to address. He's been linked with Gillingham's Tom Eaves, a striker with a good scoring rate, it has to be said, at that level. But he needs something because they've lost their way a wee bit.
Yeah, and that's because crucial players have been out through injury, and it's getting back to the old subject that managers will take as many strikers as you can give them. You know, you need options. They are a wee bit adrift for where they thought they would be, so they need to start winning games instead of drawing them. And Saturday's an ideal opportunity against a Dundee side who've maybe found their way a wee bit, but I don't think they're back anywhere near talking about winning games at Easter Road.
I don't know if you've got pals in Dundee, Ruffy, that you're trying to maybe just keep them happy there, but no wins in 6 and a draw. And the draw, and the last one was against St Mirren. I mean, you're putting a real positive spin on this one.
You know, you've got to, when you're in that kind of run, you've got to take anything out of the game.
Is it because maybe you're a Particular director and you're on a similar run?
Yeah, I was doing cartwheels at the draw at Falkirk the other week.
Listen, Jim McIntyre, again, like Ruffy, is putting a positive spin on it. He says he can see something in training that just needs them to turn the corner.
It's easy enough to say that. It's easy enough for players, for me, to do it in training, but it's when you cross that white line at 3 o'clock, you've got to produce for 90 minutes, and they've not done it. Listen, I think he's the right appointment. I still think he will get them safe, but it's a tough job, the Dundee job. I think they will stay clear of relegation. They have got the right guy in charge, but it's going to be a hard one for Jim McIntyre this season.
Yeah, okay. Motherwell against Aberdeen. If you were going to go to, if I was picking one of the games, Ruffy, I would look to Motherwell Aberdeen as one of those games that would be well worth a watch. Derek McInnes has dangled the carrot, you know, you're playing for your cup final places, although not good news for Michael Devlin. He reckons that he's going to struggle to be ready for it. Yeah,
well, I'll be hoping the supporters will be hoping that's one of these wee wind-ups that managers throw out there. We're not going to have him, and then all of a sudden as the time gets nearer, he does become available and the whole team get a lift because everybody thought he wasn't going to be playing. I think he's a major player if they could get him fit for that one. But I think the amount of Aberdeen boys that were away with the Scotland team will go back to Aberdeen, and the dressing will be a buzz just with them being in it. Yeah, you just wonder sometimes if somebody picks up a hamstring injury, it's 4 to 6 weeks when you slowly get yourself back there. A foot tendon injury, you just wonder if they work on it long enough that he could maybe, well, I think sometimes managers say, will you take an injection or will you take it strapped up and play through the pain barrier? Yeah, that's one. Well, that's two of the options you just mentioned there. They can take an injection or they can strap it and go through the pain barrier. But he will be a big miss if he's missing. Him and McKenna, I've got a good partnership going. They look strong in the central defence, and it was disappointing for Devlin because it looked as if he was going to make his Scotland debut because he's had a half-decent season for Aberdeen this year. Yeah, Motherwell, for you, Ruffy, is this one of those? I mean, they had a couple of good results, and then, of course, that 7-1 thumping by Rangers. Yeah, I don't care who you are to get a thumping like that and try and turn it round. It just means you're getting into the next game. You're needing to score the first goal. If you don't score the first goal, the heads start going down and thinking about that game at Ibrox, and I don't think Motherwell will recover from it. I think Aberdeen will be too strong. Yeah, okay. St Johnstone against Kilmarnock. Now, you're talking about a team like Kilmarnock who are going to get a great result against Hearts at Tynecastle. Not many teams go to Edinburgh at Tynecastle and come away with all 3 points, so that was great in itself. But over and above that, you've suddenly got Tommy Wright. You know, 2 months ago we were looking and going, what's happened to St Johnstone? Now 5 wins, 5 clean sheets. Yeah, but it just shows you what a good manager he is. After I actually watched their game against Celtic when they get an absolute pumping off Celtic, and they've recovered really well for that. And that's a sign of strong characters in that dressing room and a sign of a really good manager. It's no surprise to me because the job that Tommy Wright's done up there under
difficult circumstances in terms of their budget. They've not got the biggest of budgets, so they're in fine form. For me, it's going to be a right close one. Again, Kilmarnock, we keep saying it every single week. They keep churning up results against good teams. So it's going to be a close one, this one. I'm reckoning that's going to be a draw. Yeah,
it's becoming what I would call a classic Scottish phrase. Ruffy, Barry loved it there, an absolute pumping.
So I've been in the end of a few of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Steady. But I think it's
something different.
No, I thought to myself, are we still on this programme? Are we still on air? As far as St Johnstone Kilmarnock, I mean, it's one of those ones that I think I've picked a draw for it.
I think we've all picked a draw. I don't think St Johnstone will get it as easy as what they got against Hamilton. They were given goals in that one. So I think Kelly have shown, as you've said, they're going away to Hearts and getting a draw, a win. I think a draw's on the cards in this one as well.
Yeah, okay. St Mirren against Hearts. Now, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't bet on St Mirren. I think they're heading back down, and I'm sure I'll get a fair bit of flack from friends of mine in Paisley, but I don't see any spark from them whatsoever.
No, I think they're like any new manager coming in. He'll want his own players in there sooner rather than later, and it depends what kind of budget they've got. But at this precise moment in time, for me, it's St Mirren and Dundee. I think the two of them will be caught adrift eventually after Christmas and New Year, and it'll be between the two of them to see who survive.
Yeah, I mean, Gus has mentioned there, in an interview that the squad's too big. They've got too many players. Need to trim the squad. Now, if I was Oran Kearney, I'd be saying to myself, okay, great. Let's trim the squad. Let's work hard to get as many of the players out, and maybe get a budget to get a goal scorer. I mean, just a goal scorer.
But it's easy enough saying that, Peter. These guys have got contracts.
Yeah.
And it's whether other clubs want them or not. Whoever signed them up, whoever's choice it was, these guys might have another year and a half left in their contract, as I said. So they'll not go anywhere unless they're getting the same money. So it's a difficult situation for St Mirren. That's what happens when you change your manager. For me, really early in the season, when Alan Stubbs brought in a lot of players, let a few players go. So it's a hard one. He'll need to get to January, and hopefully these players that are... Because I had heard that there's two different squads training, which is not good either. You need one first team squad training together where it's 19, 20 players, but I'm hearing they've got 28, 29 players or whatever. That is far too many for a club the size of St Mirren. So it's going to be a hard job getting rid of a lot of these guys if they're in contracts.
Yeah, when you've got that scale, you would think, well, if you're not doing the business, you're out of the team and this person's in. Try and at least create a competitive edge to it. But I think he's probably looking, saying to himself, I don't even have a strong enough 11 out of the 28, 29 players that I've got. And I think that's probably where Gus is coming from. He's probably looking at it and saying, if anybody knows how to scrape, snarl, and fight at the bottom, it's Gus. He kept him in the top flight for about 7 seasons.
Yeah, and it's up to Gus to identify the right kind of person to come in, to make them a force again, but it doesn't matter what team you're at. If you've got a settled side and you're getting away with playing the same 11 guys week in, week out, you're going to have a better side. If you're 5 in, 5 out, you're not going to have a settled side, and there's not going to be any consistency at all.
Yeah, okay, so I reckon with Barry's catchphrase in mind, we reckon St Mirren will be pumped this week as well, Ruffy?
No, I don't think they'll take a hammer, and I think at home, they'll do, particularly with some of the Hearts boys still out, they'll give a good fist of it, but I think at the end of the day, Hearts will win. Okay. I don't think it'll be a hammer, put it that way.
Yeah, okay. Hearts, suddenly, Craig Levein has mentioned, they've just got to try and hang in there till the January transfer window. His point is, they've just got to hang in there until Christoph Berra and Stevie Naismith come back. I think Craig's finally held his hands up and said, listen, we've had too many injuries, but you cannot sustain the loss of 2 key players in the spine of the team. One at the core, at the heart of the defence, and one who was just a thorn at everybody's side as a striker.
Yep, I don't care what club you are or what sort of team you are. If you lose 2 of your best players, it's going to affect you. The experience the 2 guys have got, and do you know what? There'll be proper leaders in that dressing room leading up to games as well. So they're a massive miss. It looks as if they're going to get them back a bit earlier than they thought. But I says it a few weeks ago when all these injuries appeared for Hearts. As long as they just hang on in there at the top end of the league, come January, I'm sure Budge will give Craig Levein a chequebook to go and try and sign some players, and also with Berra and Naismith and other players coming back, I think they'll still be up there in contention.
Yeah, I still think they'll be top 3, Ruffy.
They need a strike force. Obviously, they let Lafferty go. Naismith's out, the big boy up front, who I can't pronounce his name.
Ikpeazu.
Is he still out as well?
He's coming back.
Well, that's a strike force.
Just not sure when.
No, but it's a strike. It's 3 strikers. It's 3 first-team strikers are with it, and we all know that a good striker wins you games, and they don't have that just now.
Yeah, okay, just before I get your predictions in all the matches, Trevor Carson, Ruffy, I'll talk to you about it because you're a goalkeeper. He's out for an extended part of the season. Hey, I'll tell you, it's not been a lucky year for Trevor Carson. When he looks back, they knocked back a move to Celtic for him. He stays there, he picks up an injury, and now, you know, it's thrombosis, deep vein thrombosis. Looks as if it's going to curtail any appearances before the end of the season for him.
Yeah, I think it's an injury that none of us have heard much about. You know, you don't hear regular football players getting that kind of injury. But you're right, he did remarkably well getting his head round and not getting the move to Celtic. Knuckled down. He's a big player for them. And that's a sore one for the player as well. So I don't know the extent of what you're out for that kind of injury.
Yeah, you've never had deep vein thrombosis, Ruffy?
No, I have not.
Yeah, Barry?
No, never.
No.
I thought it was something you played in an orchestra.
Yeah. Okay. I'll leave everyone with that thought. Right. So the games themselves, we're in a head-to-head, lads. I mean, I'm out in front, Ruffy. I don't see any way back for you as far as the head-to-head is concerned at the moment, unless you go on a spectacular run. And what we've done now, Ruffy and Barry come into this, because Barry, I think, actually, over a period of time, was settling in. Now, you know, we kind of geared him in like Dick Advocaat, just pushed him into the squad a little. Now he's here regular, he's a regular starter. It's almost like he feels as if he's playing under Walter Smith. So he's now the captain, and he said, we'll fill out our sheet without all 3 of us being together. Now that's a captain realising that you're a cheat.
Well, wait a minute. If I'm a cheat, I'm not cheating very well.
We were doing the results, the correct results on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And Ruffy's then asking me, what result you choosing for the Celtic game? What result you choosing for Rangers game? You've got to do it your own idea.
Yeah.
But there's ways to mean them.
Yeah, it's called.
So I think that's the
he
best
plays
way.
the odds, by the way.
That's the best way to do it. We'll get the results.
Okay, Hamilton Celtic, Ruffy. I think I had Celtic comfortably winning at 3-0.
I'm going to go Celtic 2-0.
I'm 2-0 as well. That's one of the ones he copied.
Yep, okay. I've got Hibs to win 2-1, Ruffy.
I've got Hibs to win 2-1 as well.
Yeah.
3-1 Hibs.
3-1 to Hibs. Motherwell Aberdeen, I've got Aberdeen to win it by a solitary goal.
I'm going to go 2-1 Aberdeen.
2-1 Aberdeen.
Okay, there's great similarities here. Rangers against Livingston, I've got Rangers to win it 2-1. A battle, but Rangers to win it.
Yeah, I've got Rangers to win it. It'll be a hard one, but Rangers 2-0 for me.
Rangers 3-0 for me.
Okay, I can't separate them. I wasn't lying. St Johnstone 1, Kilmarnock 1.
Yeah, none of us can separate them, 1 each.
Yep, I'm the same.
Yeah, okay. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. I've got Hearts to win it against St Mirren.
Yep, I'm going 2-1 Hearts.
I've got 2-0 Hearts.
2-0 Hearts. Okay, there you are. You might agree, you might disagree. That's the joy of Scottish football. If there's not a great headline because someone's spoken out of turn, or there's a referee who's made a poor decision, or indeed you don't agree with who was the best team on the day, that's the joy of it all. We'll be back on Monday. Barry will be back here. We'll be reviewing all our predictions as well to see if I've extended my lead or Ruffy's on the fight back. From Ruffy, Barry Ferguson, myself, Peter Martin. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Welcome to PLZ Soccer. Why not join the football family and download the PLZ app? You'll get all the latest Scottish football news and up-to-date news on English and world football. There's also a feature here where you can record yourself talking about your favourite team. If we use the video, you could feature on our football show. For all the latest news in Scottish football, download the PLZ Soccer app in the App Store and in Google Play. Come and join the football family on PLZ Soccer.